Welcome back to Pocono. 1 hour, 9 minutes to go in this one and only practice session today. We will have qualifying for you at 4 p.m. on FS1. Let's go back to last week at Dover and show you what happened to Kyle Busch on the very first pit stop. They'd only run about 17, 18 laps when the first caution came out. And he led every one of those laps. Came into pit road the leader. The jack dropped and away he went, but we're told that when the tire changer cycled his gun from off to on, pushed that button, it did not take. So that when he went to hit those lugs to put them on, instead those nuts were coming off, not going on. So here is the penalty per the NASCAR rule book. If a wheel comes off following a pit stop, the crew chief, the tire changer, and the tire carrier are all suspended for 4 weeks.
I know there's a lot of ways. You make a rule, and there's always someone that can make a better rule, or they can interpret the rule differently. And I thought about this, and Jeff brought this to my attention. He was right. What if Kyle Busch had been in Jimmy Johnson's pit box?
At the start of pit road.
At the very start of pit road. And he's going down pit road, and the wheel came off and went into the pits, or into one of the crews. That's something I didn't think of, because he's in pit box number 1. He drives out of the pits, and the tire rolls down the inside of the racetrack, no harm, no foul. So I don't know, the video evidence, there's just a lot of things you could look at and say, yeah, but I don't know. Larry, what do you think?
Well, you know, guys, I had extensive conversation with NASCAR this morning, and Daryl, I just don't think the way the rule is written that it would have made a difference. You know, they have a rule that's in black and white, and it basically says loss of wheel due to improper installation will result in a mandatory minimum 4-race suspension of the crew chief, tire changer, and tire carrier. I'm not saying the rule is right, but I think that whole garage area was tapping their foot, waiting to see what kind of call they were going to make on this. And you know what? They stood behind their rule, and I applaud that.
Well, let's go back to the implementation of the rule. The rule was put in place to prevent teams from putting 4, 3, or even 2 lugs on, sending a driver out there with less than 5 lugs, which is a safety issue. And if a wheel comes off, that can cause significant damage, not just to that car and driver. So putting that rule in place was done for safety, and it was done well. That rule did not anticipate this situation. However, it is the rule. You have to enforce the rule. And we're told the team will not appeal.
Well, it's the unfortunate consequences of what happened, because you do feel bad for those that were involved that are not going to be at the racetrack for several weeks, because the intent was certainly not there. It was a mistake, unfortunately turned into a major mistake. My question is this: when all that happened, why did they not tell Kyle Busch, stop, 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 stop? Now, there's a lot going on. He's the first car, leaving the pit road. But I think that in itself could have prevented the tire from coming off. It would have cost them dearly, but a lot less than what it ended up costing them by him continuing to roll around when there really were no lug nuts even on the tire.
Quite honestly, I could consider that a mechanical failure. I mean, with what happened, you had a gun failure, you didn't get any lug nuts, and the wheel comes off. I mean, see, that's the problem when you start getting Jeff's opinion, my opinion, your opinion, and whole garage area's opinion. But I do believe that's a rule they will take a look at and redefine.
Yeah, I understand them enforcing the rule. Maybe we'll see some new rules come out of it. But one thing that's very hard to do, Larry, is ask the officials to judge intent. I don't see intent in the rules.
If they ever go down the road of judging intent, that's a slippery slope right there. You know, the irony of Kyle Busch being here this weekend without his crew chief, Adam Stevens, his brother won this race a year ago with interim crew chief Johnny Klossmeyer, because Tony Gibson was suspended for 1 race for missing a lug nut the week before at Charlotte.
That is correct.
By the way, I don't know, and just to follow up a little bit, what is the penalty for an uncontrolled tire on pit road, Larry?
Tail end of the longest line, under caution,
I don't think this would be an uncontrolled tire. That's a tire that comes off the car and rolls away.
I didn't see anybody controlling it.
You know what? This tire came off the car and rolled away.
It's a strange, Daryl, but I got to give you credit. It's a strange.
Just saying.
Martin Truex comes out for a slow roll around here. He's run 2 laps. Now, since his win here 2 years ago, boy, it's been an eventful and meteoric rise for the driver who now has the most stage wins in this season. Let's recap his last 72 races since that Pocono win. 7 wins, 18 top 5s, 36 top 10s. That's 50%. Almost 3,000 laps led. They have gone from contender to favorite.
The only thing he's missing is a championship.
What I always like, everybody says, so what's wrong with the Toyotas? What's wrong with Gibbs? Nothing, I don't think.
8 stage wins, 18 playoff points, and that leads the league in both those categories.
And they are aware of that, and they work.
Oh, yes.
It's something they really put a lot of effort into. That's just amazing. Look at that.
They have really gone to maximize those playoff points, which they will carry with them all the way to Homestead.
When do we get to answer your trivia question? Because I may have been taking a sneak peek, and I was a huge fan.
I know you were. The 31 drivers who made their Pocono debut and got their best finish, it was not a driver who came up through the stock car ranks, not a Northeast modified or late model driver, and not an IndyCar driver.
Okay, so
stay tuned.